Hello and welcome to the DeLever myAPC Diary instructional videos, and we are now looking at the My Diary tab. Just to draw your attention to the tabs on the bottom of the page, you have candidate info, My Diary, My Logbook, My CPD Log, and My Summary of Experience. And so we're today going to look at the My Diary tab, and this is the page that you're presented with. So very simply, this is where you have, from the candidate information sheet, selected your start date, which is in black at the top here, and based on that start date, the diary system has now gone away and recorded 6 years worth of diary based on your chronology. So it will run from the 1st of January to the 31st December. You put the 1st of March in there, or you put the 15th of March, it doesn't matter. It will run from the 15th of March all the way through to the 14th of March in 6 years time. And so you have ample space. The RSS guidance only allows you to take 5 years worth of diary to the assessment with you. However, if you're on, let's say, an apprenticeship, you can start using this right from day one. If you're just doing 2 years worth, then just record the first 2 years. You can manipulate the data in here however you see fit. It's all about managing the process. It's not about restricting you into certain things. That said, however, we do have a little bit of error checking built into this, and I'll explain that to you as we go along. Let's just first look at the diary and the dates. So the 1st of January, Wednesday the 1st of January is in here. Now you'll notice there are two Wednesday the 1st of January. This might seem a bit confusing. Not really. AM, PM. So you have a morning and you have an afternoon. You can, in the candidate's guide, record down to a minimum of a half day. So you can record in here. You can put details in here, type what you did in this box, and you can do the same. Now, if I'm just going to copy and paste that just so I don't have to keep typing. If I put a space in there, and you'll see it will go off the edge of the page. Now, if you press enter, it then organizes that for you and does a text wrapping into that box. So you can type as much as you want into here. Few thoughts for you: if you're copying and pasting from other systems, either copy it from the other system and double click the cell first so you get the little cursor, or you can right click and paste special values only. Okay, and what that'll do is it'll only type in the text then that you've copied and pasted. If you just try copying and pasting, sometimes formatting will come across from other systems, and then it won't necessarily mess up the myAPC Diary, but it'll mess up your nice colors. And you'll notice you've got a lighter yellow and a slightly darker yellow orangey sort of color for PM. Now it's always different on different computers, so don't worry about contacting me going, mine doesn't look yellow. It's fine. It's just there to designate that you can write text and edit that cell. You'll notice, as we have spoken on the candidate info sheet as well, and I'll explain here, there are certain cells that are locked. So if you try double clicking the date, it'll go, sorry, you can't do that. You try double clicking the AM PM, nope, sorry, you can't do that. You try clicking anywhere else in the system, it won't do that. So you can only record data in the light yellow cells, and you can use the white and grey cells with the arrows to drop down. Okay, you can actually type in, and if it's in the list, then that's nice and easy as well, and I'll show you that in a moment. So just to remind us, we've got 2 dates for each date. So you'll notice Thursday the 2nd, Friday the 3rd. Oh, now we've got Saturdays and Sundays designated. So those are now highlighted. So you can see, if we scroll down the page, you can see we have our weeks designated in there. So nice and easy for you to manage, to control. You see when your weekends are. Oh, just jumped over there. You see when your weekends are, and you can mess around with this. Now, the other thing to mention here is this is quite a wide page, so it goes across the page a little bit. So left to right scrolling is always a bit of a pain in the neck. Come up the top here in your little zoom. Sometimes it's a bit bigger on different computers. Mine's quite a high resolution screen. You drop that down to say 90%, you then might fit everything on the screen. Still very readable, still very achievable. So have a little mess around with the zooms, because that might help you to manage the system a little bit easier. But generally, we've tried to keep all the bits that you are writing generally within the screen. Okay, don't forget we've got our little tips at the top here and on the right hand side. So if you're unsure about anything, you can have a read of those. Those get turned on and off in the candidate info. Please watch the candidate info video for more information about setting up the system. And also we've got our error checking at the top of the page here as well. Again, just to keep an eye on that, because if you are starting to make mistakes, then it will tell you. And again, the mistakes tend to be further down the page. If they are, then it'll highlight that for you, and it'll tell you that as well. Now let's just have a look at the other items we've got here. So we've got description, that's what you've been up to. I always suggest 3 or 4 lines as a description, no more than, if you visualize an A4 sheet of paper or a letter format sheet of paper, literally 1 page to a week would be maximum that I would be wanting to write. So details about the project, maybe a few lines about what you got up to. If there are any key things that you want to remember in the future, then you can pop it in there. Right, the next thing we need to do is then we need to declare or pick one of our declared competencies. So if you click that drop down, now when you watch the candidate information video, you'll see that we selected some competencies. So these competencies in the technical, core, optional and optional plus boxes now appear in this drop down. Now this isn't any one pathway, so don't get confused which pathway is this. We've just selected a random range of competencies. So I'm going to pick agriculture for that. Now the problem with that is it's all fine that I picked the competency, but what I haven't done is I haven't put a duration against it. Now you can now record level 2 or level 3 against this if you want to. My general view on recording levels on Diary is I'm not entirely sure why we're doing this, and it's part of the feature that's in ARC, so we've built it into here so that you can manipulate that data if you really want to, but really from an assessor's perspective we're looking at the overall total of what you've recorded against each competency, not necessarily the level breakdown. It doesn't tend to ring true. And why haven't we put level 1 in there? Well, our view is that level 1 is not doing or advising, level 2 is doing, level 3 is advising. Level 1 is all about knowledge and learning. So we would tend to say, look, if you want to record a day against CPD, then you can do that. If you want, you can type something in the text box here, so I'm going to put CPD in there. So that was a CPD event, and what I would do is I would tag it against an other or a non-recording day, or just leave it blank and don't record it against any competency. But what I would do is I'd make sure I've written that time up in my CPD log. So watch the video on my CPD log, and that will show you how you can then edit that data and put that data into there. So I would just be cautious. Level 1 in my mind is always about knowledge base. So why would you be doing or advising and recording your experience against that? Okay, so certainly you're going to have to write up all the levels in the summary of experience, and don't forget you can't record mandatory competencies in here either, because your 400 days is against your technical, core, optional and optional plus competencies. Now let's deal with this mistake that we've got going on here. Very, very simple. We need to put a duration in. So whether I want to choose level 2 or level 3, I'm going to go with level 2 for this one. So I'm going to put half a day in against that. Okay, that's cool. Now if I didn't want to record any more on this day, I could just record that against a whole day. And I go, yeah, okay, that's fine as well. So let's just move that CPD down a different day. And again, you can copy and paste as you go through. So if you have a bulk range of things that you want to do and you're going to repeat them each day. So let's say, for example, I wanted to repeat this activity here. Now, Control C, Control V, if you're on a computer, Command C or Command V if you're on a Mac, or you can right click and copy and paste. So I'm just going to do Control C, and I want to put that into the next 4 days. Literally, that's all you do. Now, what I'd be tempted to do was probably select the competency first, because you can actually do the whole lot in one go, and I'll show you that in a moment. So let's just pick that up and we block across and Control C again, and we paste that into each of the boxes. Now you'll see it's picked up agriculture for a day. It's now recorded 5 days against level 1. If I decided actually no, that was going to be level 2, level 2 rather. If I decided that was going to be level 3, then I would have the opportunity to select the duration against that as well. Interestingly, agriculture we know is in the list. So if you start with an A, it will come up immediately, whatever has an A in it. If you go G, it comes up agriculture. You press enter, it will pop that in there for you. Okay, so you don't actually need to use the mouse in the drop down if you don't want to. Now we know there was another one in there called capital allowances. So if we do CAP, there you go, you can select that, and that's now put that in there as well. Now again, it's popped up an error because I've not put the duration in. Okay, so let's drop that now into level 3. I'm going to do half a day against that one, and I'm going to do a day against that one. There we go. Again, with the days and the details, you can literally, you don't need to do the drop down. You can just type the number in if you want to. Now, I'm going to do that now. So on this one here, so on Wednesday, the 1st of January in the afternoon, I've decided I'm going to do half a day against something. So you can do in 0.5 if you want to, and type that in. Now, this has all of a sudden gone absolutely mad and thrown up loads of errors. So let's have a look at those errors. Firstly, we've not selected a competency. Okay, let's pick a competency. So we're going to go to build control inspections. We're going to pick, not put a description in, but that's your choice. You can put a description in however you see fit. It's not part of the error checking. The error checking is all about the calculation, about the instant logbooks that this system creates you, and about the clever data manipulation that it does there. So hence why the error checking is here. Now, why have we still got a mistake? Well, if you have a look, we've got a morning and an afternoon on the same day, but we've managed to record 1.5 days against the 1 day. So we've got a mistake and we've got an error there. So a number of ways you can fix that. You can either turn this one to 0 and delete that entry, but then you're going to get the agriculture thing come up again. Go back to select and it will go away and it won't record anything. Okay, so we're going to leave agriculture in there because we do want to record this. So let's go for half a day against that and half a day against the build control inspections, and then all of a sudden again it's working. If I was to put half a day in against this competency here, the system will remind me again, same thing happens again. So you can, oh, there's no point recording the same thing. Let's pick big data this time. So you can see that we've got half a day going on here. We've got 1.5. So let's push that down to 2 half days. And the system then is going, yep, we're happy with that. So now we've got 4.5 days against level 2 and 2 days against level 3. Now, what we're going to do, let's just copy and paste those areas there for a moment, because what I want to do is I'm just going to pop some data in here, and we're just going to put it at various different places down the system, because what I want to show you is the clever element of the logbooks, and we're going to look at those in a separate video. So please look at our logbook video, but this just shows you how easy it is that you can copy and paste your data throughout the system. And again, remember with your drop downs, you can only edit what's in the box, as in you can only use the drop down selection. So that's keeping you on the straight and narrow, so you don't try and pick competency you haven't selected. If it's not in the selection, go back to the candidate info page and change it. Okay, or add to it. It's entirely flexible and you do whatever you like with the system. So that's the diary section. Let me just click outside of that cell. There we go. There's not a lot else that you do here. This is now recorded 27 and 12, so a total of 39 days for me, and we have it to 1 decimal place, so it's half days and noted as well, and it shows you the totals down the right hand side. Pretty straightforward. And if I want to scroll down, you just keep scrolling. There's 6 years worth of diary in here, so you can pick and choose wherever you want to put it, whatever you want to do with it. You can move it around, you can copy and paste it, you can do whatever you like. The system is really flexible. All we're doing in the security is retaining the robustness of the system, so you can't click in and delete the programming that's built behind it, because there's some pretty clever stuff going on in the background that's now going to sort all this out for you into different pathways, into different competencies within your pathway, into different years, months, etc. that you've recorded. Now, just on the right at the top here again, let's just have a look at these. So we have registered copy. We explain that in the candidate info section. If that's bright red, you need to get in touch with us. And we've got the help section, so pop your mouse over there, click on the link, and that will take you out to our website. And again, you've got lots of your little pointers here which explain, and these are repeated down the page, so they're not new ones, they're just repeated, so that it reminds you. If you don't want those on, back to your candidate information page and you can turn the tips off. That, I believe, brings us to the end of the demonstration on the candidate myDiary page. I don't think there's anything else I want to tell you other than go and have a look now at the my logbook page video. Thanks ever so much for listening. Bye bye.